So I didn't include these original ones on my resume. I might have seen them through other people's resumes because I like to critique other people's resumes. I like to have my resumes critiqued by other people as well. I think it's a good way to improve, right? For either side, for both sides. But these are some ones that I might have seen, or maybe something that I have done in the past as well. That I think what the original would look like and how I improved upon the original. And I really want you guys to remember this method, this template of develop, apply, achieve in one sentence or in one paragraph, or two sentences. And we're going to take an example here. So the original wrote Python scripts to extract, clean, load unstructured textual data and feed into transformer model to classify user reviews, supporting product management team to better understand customer behavior. Okay, that sounds great, right? That actually sounds pretty good. If you just look at the structure, it does tell what you did and what type of things you did. But it's lacking some details, right? For example, what type of transformer model? There are many different models, right? And then you're using some textual data. So maybe you could add some buzzwords in there, like NLP, right? And then you said Python scripts. Okay, if you're using a lot of Python scripts to do all these things, it's like a end-to-end pipeline, right? And you can mention that. And it will sound fantastic. So these are some ways that you can look for to add more details and just make your experience sound fancier in a way, or just have more details. And then the most important thing that this original line is lacking is it doesn't have any quantitative evidence. So it says that it helped supported product management team to better understand customer behavior. Okay, that's fantastic. You understand the customer behavior, and now what? What did you do like to help the business, right? And that's what we're going to add. You probably, if you did all these things, you probably also looked into the performances after production, right? So that's where you want to look for those business metrics to include as well. So let's look at the improvement. Developed an end-to-end pipeline to extract and classify user review data into different behavioral categories. We're using several NLP data pre-processing techniques. Okay, NLP buzzwords and transformer model. Okay, let's include an example. BERT, probably the most well-known one that first used the attention mechanisms. And then, okay, we're gonna add some numbers. Achieved 90% accuracy. Again, I just made this up. It could be anything, right? Maybe it's not measured by accuracy. Maybe it's by F1 score or OCAUC. Yeah, it could be anything, right? And then improved App Store rating by 10%. Wow, now that sounds really great because you are seeing some direct business value. It's something that's not related to data science, actually. It's related to business. Improve App Store rating. And that really shows significance of this project, right? You improve the App Store rating by 10%. That brings more user activity. That brings more downloads. That brings even more snowball effect to have even more downloads, right? More social network effect. So this is very important to mention. And again, you might have some different business metrics that you're looking for. So include whatever that was successful, right? Include what you found. And next up, we're going to look at example number 2. So the original one is conducted risk analysis in response to COVID impact on the financial sector and build strategies to reduce risk exposure, increased overall ROA by 10%. Again, this sounds pretty great. It sounds like it's like a financial fintech company or bank, and then you're looking to reduce some risk exposures that you have. But again, it doesn't really sound any specific, right? It's not specific at all. Build strategies, what type of strategies? And then risk analysis. Again, what type of analysis? What are some things that you did? What are some skills you applied, right? It doesn't really mention any skills. These are just very, very broad, and it's not detailed things that you have done. And then for the quantifying result, increase overall ROA by 10%, that's also really good. But if you have more things that you can mention that are also related to business, or just about how well the project was, you want to include them as well, right? So look at the improvement. Conducted risk analysis in response to COVID to build appropriate risk mitigating strategies. Okay, and we applied feature selection methods, lasso, random forest, again buzzwords for different models, to extract top risk factors, okay, to reduce high risk underwriting. Okay, so that tells you exactly what was done, right? We used some feature selection methods. We extracted top risk factors, and then we use those risk factors to reduce underwriting strategies that are high risk. And then for the metrics, again, you just want to include anything that you think is great for this project that shows how well this project is, right? It's your project, so you should know how good it is, right? So reach 60% capture rate and increase long-term ROA by 10%. It could be anything. I'm just making up numbers here. Again, the original is not bad itself, but these are just very minor improvements to just add a little bit more details to make it even better. And then let's look at example number 3. So the original one is saying it's using world events news data to predict stock market index directions, applying machine learning techniques, logistic regression, GBM, LSTM to trade SP500 index at 10-minute interval, beating benchmark SP500 performance by 5% annually. Now this one is really, really great by itself already because it actually included the machine learning techniques that was being used, 3 different ones. And it's already pretty specific about what was being done, right? And then even had metrics. Again, we're looking to improve it, even if it was already really good, right? We can always improve it a little bit more. So let's try improve it a little bit better. First of all, how we can improve this. So using world events news data, we didn't really say how we're using that, right? Because especially it's stock market, so maybe it's some time series, and that's a keyword that we can mention. Maybe there's some sentiment stuff in news data, right? It's NLP stuff again. So if you don't have any NLP things that you want to mention, you could also include some NLP related techniques, bigrams, trigrams, and NER, anything like that. And then, okay, so that's already something that we can improve on. And then let's look at the metric, beating benchmark SP500 performance by 5% annually. Again, that's really great, but to a financial company, those people are really sharp, right? No pun intended, not sharp ratio, but those people are really sharp, right? They're gonna see you improve the performance by 5% annually, but for how long? If you only did the strategy for a year and then you outperform SP500 by 5% for that year specifically, and that year was a really good year in the stock market already, people are not going to be impressed, right? And people are going to assume that you didn't include the exact number. It might not be too good anyways. So let's see how we can improve this. Build a 10-minute rebalancing trading strategy on stock market index, SP500, based on world events news data, using machine learning techniques. This is pretty much all unchanged. Logistic regression, GBM, LSTM, and now we're going to add some more details and more buzzwords. Time series, feature engineering, and sentiment analysis. Okay, great. Now this is important, or this is adding a lot of buzzwords already, and this is adding more details. We're using some time series feature engineering, and we're using sentiment analysis, right? And then beating benchmark SP500 performance by 5% annually for past 30 years. Now that's a very robust number, right? For the past 30 years, we're always performing better than S&P 500 in backtesting. Obviously, you're going to have train and test data. You're not going to overfit, just fit on the past 30 years and then also evaluate on the past 30 years. And I trust that you understand that as well. Yeah. And you might ask, okay, what if it wasn't like that? It didn't outperform for past 30 years and it only outperformed for 2 years. Okay, then maybe there are some other evaluation metrics that did well, right? Or maybe it was just a crappy model and then you shouldn't even include it here on your resume. But yeah, it really depends. You should really look for the metrics that makes your model shine. Maybe it doesn't outperform S&P 500, but it has a very, very low drawdown. And that's a finance word, right? It's when you have periods of losses that are lower than if you were invested in S&P 500. You could look into Sharpe ratio. Maybe your returns are lower, but because of your variances are lower, that you're going to have a higher Sharpe ratio. So you could look into different metrics that you want to include. The important thing is that you want the metrics to sound robust and can be used directly in your business in industry, right? Sounds like you were really helping the business. And next part on your resume is going to be skills. And this is a really broad section to talk about because skills in data science really encapsulate a lot of things, right? Because look at this famous chart here about data science skills. You're going to need some programming skills, hacking skills. You're going to need math and statistical knowledge, and you're going to need some domain knowledge. And if you think about it, these three sections can make up professions on their own already, but these three all combined make up data science, right? So there's a lot of skill sets that you could have in data science. And what I would recommend is really find the commonly listed skills that are listed on the job description. And you're also skilled in them, right? You don't want to lie again. You really want to have the skill as well. So you want to look for those commonly listed on job description and then include those keywords. For example, if they mention machine learning as some of their skills they're looking for, you want to include that. Data analysis, deep learning, reinforcement learning, NLP, computer vision, could be anything, right? So you want to include them. And then this part is very, very important, especially for the very, very first resume scan, especially if you're from school and companies are dealing with thousands of resumes. So they're going to rely on some machine scans. So they're going to scan and filter out a lot of resumes just based on the skills that they see on your resume, right? So you definitely want to include all those keywords. And then yeah, this is very, very broad, and I'm actually thinking about making a video specifically on the skills in data science and where you could study those skills, whether at home or through some online courses or through some just good textbooks, these type of resources that I also want to provide for you guys to look to learn those skills. And if you're interested in that type of video, comment below, and I'll definitely put that on my agenda as well. And a very important thing that I want you guys to know is that you have to understand that you will get rejected very often, even with the perfect resume. And that's just how it works. Maybe they already found a candidate that they were very, very happy about, and then they just decided to reject everyone else after accepting that new candidate that they really liked, right? And it happens really a lot, even to me. In my most recent series of job seeking, I got so many interviews, and it was like I got an interview after every application, and it was really, really crazy because the market was good. I went through so many iterations of my resume. I made sure it looked really great. But even still, you're going to have those rejections. I got rejected by a lot of companies that I've never heard about. I got rejected by companies that I was really interested in. But it's just how life works. It's if you don't have the perfect timing, you might get rejected anyways. So having a good mentality is also very, very important when you're going through your job seeking. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind. Even if you have the perfect resume already, you're still going to get rejected. And personally, I don't think there's a such thing as perfect resume. It's all about perspective, depending on who's reading your resume. So yeah, always look to improve your resume, right? That can get the most interviews for you. And yeah, that concludes the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is my first video related to data science. So if you want me to make more videos, definitely comment below. Tell me that if you like this type of video. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more. And also, I'm thinking about doing a resume review video where you guys send me your resumes and I will review it in a video format, and I'll tell you how you could improve it. And now I can show it to all the other viewers so that they can understand from an example on how they could improve a data science resume. And I think that should be helpful to a lot of people. So yeah, if you guys enjoy the content, definitely hit the like button and subscribe for more. It would really mean a lot to me. With that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video.